What's going on, everybody? My name is Dave. Welcome to another exciting episode of Crypto Awesome, where crypto is simplified and awesomeness is amplified. And yeah, JMO, sorry about that. There was a small delay, but we are here now, and I am here with the famous Rainman. So let's just, no further ado, let's talk about Eden. What's going on, Rainman? How you doing, man?
What's up, dude? I'm good, man. It's good to be back streaming. It's been a couple of weeks.
It's good to see you. It's been a while, a couple weeks in crypto is like months. It's like, man, dude, time flies.
This felt like 1,000 years. These last
I bet it did. I bet it did. You want to talk about that, or you want to jump into Eden first? Let's just talk about what Eden. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just want to make the community aware that who I am and what my ethics are and what I believe in, and that's making things right, and that's the path that we've taken, and that's the path that I believe that we're taking right now. And people make mistakes, and this is the most cutting edge DeFi stuff in the entire TitanX ecosystem, or Ethereum ecosystem, or Pulse Chain ecosystem, whatever. Right. And it's all evolved in stepping stones off one protocol after another. And here we are. And so, I take responsibility. I said that, we made people whole with the airdrop. There's a lot of things that I wish wouldn't have been said so fast. And I'm not going to bring those names up unless people want to bring them up or ask questions. And I want you to ask questions if you're going to be in the chat. Ask questions. So let's talk about it. And let's be transparent about it. But we've been really transparent about it. But right now, we have something that's mega bullish for Lotus. And Eden is pretty epic, right? Because there's some major, super hype catalysts that are insanely bullish. And then we have Shaolin, and when Steve decides to do Zara, well, we all know what Steve can do. It's like the mad scientist, right? So so whatever, it's been it was a tough week. It's hard to get a lot of FUD and get called a scammer and get called this and that, but I'm not a scammer, and I would never scam anybody. I've never scammed anyone in my life, and
because people make personal attacks. It's like they're not just people go personal when they're really bold behind a keyboard, but ultimately, I think the sentiment that I'm seeing personally in my bubble of X and the community is that everybody's loving what you're doing, how you've handled it. Like, everybody's really appreciating and very stoked for Eden, as am I. I think a lot, now actually there's even possibly more mechanics involved, possibly more game theory involved, because Lotus is actually still a great protocol. There was just the staking bug. So really now there's a situation where the Lotus miners, we could still claim those, and we could still bring them over one-to-one to Eden. And so, but there's still going to be mining available in Lotus if people want to. Not that it is not that people are really mining right now, maybe, but it's possible. The miners are still actual profitable right now, but I think people are waiting for what is Eden and how does Lotus now play into Eden? What does that look like?
Yeah, so Eden, it's not just because of what's going on with it. It's not just a Lotus part 2, right? There's some things in Eden that have never been done before. And this whole thing with the staking, it affected 23% of the TitanX that came in the protocol. All right. So, but it didn't, the staking is not just gone, right? And I can never remove the staking because the code is immutable, right? We took it off the website ethically because some folks might stumble upon it and say, oh, hey, let's just do this. And they don't know the backstory yet, even though the white paper is
section. You mean the staking link? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, the staking page. And we're going to bring the staking page back up. It'll just be, for you to claim your stakes when they end. So, we did I airdropped every single person that staked before day 8 their Lotus tokens back. And at the end of their stakes, they're going to get their Lotus tokens back also.
Right.
And
I mean, you've gone above and beyond and actually you have taken care of everybody that could have been affected, which is, I mean, obviously, so it's crucial, but you've done it and nobody asked you to. You just did it, and you took the right steps is what I see from outside of the situation. But I'm still inside too. I didn't have any staked before day 8 because I did a lot of max miners, but I did start trying to get some liquid so I could start getting some to stake. But so I have a little bit of liquid Lotus now, but I mean, I'm excited for Eden. I was excited for Lotus. I really liked the white paper, what you did with it. I thought it was pretty cool. And now you say that Eden even has some additional innovations. So what does that look like?
Well, I mean, we could bring it up if you don't mind. Just help me.
All right.
Yeah. Do you want me to share my screen or I've got it up.
Share your screen. Yeah. See if you could do that.
All right. So.
Does Eden fix all the problems Lotus had? Johnny's asking.
Let's get into that, Johnny, and then we'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, essentially, and it wasn't, the problem that Eden had, Lotus, was that the staking payouts, the variable was less than what people were supposed to get. And it was missed in our testing. It was missed in the audits, and it was missed by the devs, and people are human and they make mistakes, right? So Eden is about as pure as it gets as far as 4 audits. The other 2 companies who have audited most of the protocols in the TitanX ecosystem are badass. All right. They audited it for free again. And I had Hunter Security who did TitanX, X28, and Shogun also doing it. All right. And those are about $20K a piece. All right. And they're doing 2 audits. All right. For it. So what else can we do, man? What else can we do? We're on like the pioneering cutting edge of
that's true. We are
finance, and so yeah.
In general, the bill on TitanX we are all innovating, and you're no different. You're on the cutting edge. I mean, really pairing with Volt too was a cutting edge thing. You were even pairing with Volt before Volt launched. You were already ready to do that. So it's like that's how so many innovations happening right now. We're pushing the envelope now. We're doing it smart and we're doing it safe. We're getting auditors. Like you audited that stuff. You built with great devs. You audited it. You spent the money to do it right, and then you launched, and it was a flawless launch. Everybody was stoked on it, and then obviously the issue was revealed on day 8.
Yeah, and, which was shocking to me. I mean, I was shocked because all the testing we did didn't reveal it. And which is. And can I explain that? No, I can't explain that. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So Eden. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like I got my first haircut in about 6 weeks today. So let's just put it that way. I thought after Lotus launch, I could take a breath, but no, it was like, holy shit. We got to make this right, for the TitanX ecosystem. I've been in the TitanX ecosystem before TitanX was launched, right? I mean, I've been a day 1 moderator in TitanX, onboarded thousands of people for TitanX, thousands, literally. Me in Utah, in Bad Sports, and some other people in there, literally just helping people understand, Jake's vision, from the mastermind, and here we are, over a year in. And there's about to be 40 protocols that are going to be built on this.
Right?
Are you kidding me? So, FUD comes in and you can criticize me and that's okay. I can take it like a man. You can, people can talk what they want to talk, but I'm going to deliver. I'm going to continue to deliver, You can
take it, but it also still hurts when the personal attacks come. I mean, I've been personally attacked a handful of times. It's like,
Yeah.
even in this community, you know, and it's like, well, hey, you know what? It is what it is. And I guess, you know, you're doing something right when people have something to say. And also, you already have a reputation for being a great guy and honest and building and other things. So, you know, there's everybody here has your back. Like, I pretty much think, and I speak for 99% of the TitanX community, like we got your back and we're stoked on what you're doing. We don't really feel that there's been any ill doing. In fact, the contract issue was, hey, it was code, it was missed, but you've actually handled it way above and beyond. In fact, you're now, and we'll get into this, but you're funding the first 3 Lotus payout pools with 200 billion TitanX each. And also you refunded the stakers, like you said, and they're still going to get their stakes back when they're done. Lotus is working physically other than the staking. So the staking is going to be off of there, but you're going to bring up the website later, or the page later, so people can claim their stakes at some point.
Yeah, because they have, you know, 40 days, so we have a little bit of time, you know, because that's not a priority. To get up a claim stake page right now is just not a priority. And one thing people need to realize also is that we didn't remove staking. I can never remove staking from Lotus. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm going to say this right now. You know, whatever I say, take with a grain of salt. I wouldn't listen to me. We don't understand always how this technology works. It is working in some cases, and in some cases it doesn't. All right. So we are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. Okay. So we're just doing the best we can to bring value to the community. And when value is taken away, we want to bring it back. All right. And so that's why I had Eden. And that's why I waited 24 hours, because Eden wasn't planned to just say, oh, a mistake. Here, let me just pump out Eden. Right. I mean, this is something that is, I had help with Eden. Right. I mean, there's people involved behind the scenes whose reputations are on the line. Some of the most respected auditors, you know, that there are, and devs in the ecosystem. And they all felt horrible about it. And I'm not throwing names out there because I put this out there, but it's code on the blockchain. And people got to realize, don't put money in crypto that you cannot afford to lose. All right. I mean, it's, you know, the stock market can wreck you too, and everything like that. But, you know, this is code on the blockchain, and we're doing our best here, guys. So, and we're doing our best. I'm doing my best to make this right, because, and I think we did. I think we're doing that. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it weren't the case, you know. So,
and you're sitting here on the eve of a new launch. Like, literally, you've been cranking in the background, getting this thing ready to go, and now there's another opportunity for everybody in Lotus. And this is why, too, there's probably no minting going on because what happens to the staking pools? I mean, if people keep minting in Lotus, are those staking pools going to keep getting full in Lotus, and they're not like,
well, if we keep mining, yeah, I mean, I would say that the mining and the pools in Lotus, if you're gonna be mining Lotus, if I was mining Lotus, I would not stake my Lotus into Lotus. All right. That is just, if you can't figure that out, that is going to be clear as day right now, because of what we're doing, because we're taking the treasury stake, which will also provide a small portion of the what we're preloading into the 3 reward pools as well. You know, and it's 23% that was affected. But what I'm hearing from some of our auditors and our devs is that by staking this massive, it's either going to be 24 or 25 billion Lotus, right? Because we're playing with this liquidity now, because we see that liquidity is extremely important.
So now you're going to be able to stake Lotus directly in Eden?
I am going to stake the treasury because of the stakers. So, and what's going to happen is that treasury stake, all right, is going to be what I've been told. It's going to be, we're not sure yet, but it should be able to pull out maybe 50 to 65% of the TitanX that's locked up in those pools. And that will be transferred directly over to the 8-day and the 48-day and the 88-day pools that are in Eden. So the stakers can swap their ratio, right, 1-to-1, and just stake it in. All right. And so basically, in addition to having 200 billion TitanX preloaded into the 8-day, the 48-day, and the 88-day, we have a constant feed coming in additionally, even if mining, because these protocols are designed to be super naturally capped because of the, the cost of mining is different. It's not like TitanX. I mean, it's like 68% times faster. The cost of Titan, well, 33%. And these are numbers that we don't need to go into. We'll get to that in the white paper, but it caps naturally faster, right? It's not hyper-deflation naturally faster, but the supply cap is naturally faster, and that's what is important for people to understand as well. So here we have mining feeding the staking pools in Eden, and we have this massive whale stake that's sucking what is stuck in Lotus and transferring it over there. So the people who are, so the people that are stakers in Lotus, when they have the ratio swap on day 9, can stake their tokens. Boom. And there's your TitanX coming out, as TitanX gets past these, these dips that we're in right now. And so I think that's pretty epic, actually.
That's cool. Yeah, because the whale stake isn't going to care if the ratios are off or whatever to get those payouts in the pools, and those payouts can now be distributed into the Eden pools. Will they be distributed into the Eden pools in Lotus as Lotus, or will they be bought and exchanged for Eden and then sent to the Eden?
No. They'll be. So what happens is the TitanX that's in those pools.
Oh, it's TitanX in those pools.
Yeah, it's TitanX. Yeah.
Got it.
So it's TitanX that's in those pools. In those pools, once the staking whale, let's just call that, the Lotus staking whale from the treasury, once it gets paid its rewards, those rewards will be transferred over. It's a public call function. So I have to stake it. So this is what's going to happen. Eden gets deployed, okay? And then once Eden is deployed, I will take that wallet and stake all those tokens into Lotus, all right? And then the smart contract kicks in and the public call function. It's kind of complicated, but it can't be done before that. We've already tried this. It can't be it's preloaded, and that's like a figure of speech, I guess I should say. But all that will be moved over there, it'll be the same day Eden launches. It'll be in there, But I can't do it before the protocol launches because it's just not possible. So I mean, then you got the Lotus Bloom reward. That's flawless. So that paid out $80,000 freaking dollars to one person. It's staked, to Rich Landon, who's a diamond him. So that's pretty awesome. So it's a lot. It's a lot, dude. I mean, this is like some serious like correction, and maybe even like better, because Shaolin 2 and Zara. So I mean, it's unfortunate for what happened for people who won that massive first payout. I mean, at launch we did we went up to like $1.37 from 3 cents. I mean, I don't know, what is that, like a 60x or something, even more than that, And so people were sending me pictures of cars that they bought, literally cars in other countries, more than one person, just off liquid trading, not, so, and the only reason I didn't stake was because I didn't want to win the freaking Lotus Bloom reward. I wanted it to be a community member, so anyways.
You gonna have an Eden Bloom?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, and that's all from mining. That'll be coming from mining. So yeah.
Crypto Vic asks, why should we keep Lotus?
Well, it's not financial advice to do anything. You have to do what's best for you. First of all, best for what's you and your family, but or your loved ones, right? So Lotus will probably have the least supply of any mining token ever created because of all the YouTube influencers and Twitter influencers that just ripped it to shit, talking all kinds of stuff that wasn't true, saying the contracts weren't renounced, which they're 100% renounced. You think if they weren't renounced, we couldn't just go in and fix it, like on the staking contract? No, can't do that. So they kind of destroyed people that had probably put value into it and might have held their tokens. So what's the question again from him was what? Should we keep Lotus? That's up to you.
Keep Lotus. Like, is there a reason to hodl Lotus, or is it better to one-to-one exchange into Eden when you launch?
Sure. Well, it depends because you have the staker classes and protocols, and then you have people who don't like to stake at all. So if you want to stake, that has nothing to do with keeping your Lotus, right? Because there's no staking on Lotus. You can stake through the back end. I removed it from the front end for ethical reasons, right? But if you know how to use Etherscan, you can still stake, Vic. But I'm building Shaolin. It's going to burn Lotus, okay? It's going to burn the shit out of Lotus, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
What's the total supply of Lotus after all the miners come out that have been started,
Yeah, I haven't even looked to change it a little bit, but right now there's like nothing coming out till day 180. So whatever's out right now is.
What you're saying is that, okay, so now if this is more scarce than Eden, but it's always a one-to-one into Eden, then what happens if Lotus goes above Eden? Is that an arbitrage opportunity on market to bring it down to the Eden price and still get the one-to-one?
It could be. It could be. It's hard to speculate on the arbitrage, but if stakers want to switch, or if anybody loses, complete confidence in Eden, in Lotus, then go ahead and do the ratio swap, But every time you do the ratio swap, that token is not burned, and that's a key thing. That token, that Lotus token, is added to the treasury stake. Okay, so it increases the value.
More of that payout.
So more of the TitanX that's locked up in Lotus is going to be sent right over to the 8-day, 48, and 88-day pool. All right, so and then you have more locked up Lotus.
So it's not even burning it, but Shaolin will burn Lotus. But until then, when we send it in, it's literally going straight to that contract, but it is minting us a one-to-one for Eden when we're doing that.
Exactly.
And if we do that, now you said though we cannot bring in liquid Lotus one-to-one until day 9. Is that right?
That's right, and that's not because I didn't want to hey, let's get it immediately. It's because so there's 2 reasons. One, you're getting your airdrop of your Lotus, and then you're getting your stake back, so you're gonna have double the tokens, right? So, and also the main primary reason is in TitanX, it would be like an ICO launch, right? If all these people had a bunch of Eden tokens, would you participate in a protocol in these days? No, we don't. It'd be like having whatever, 1 million tokens already. All these people already, they're way ahead of everybody else. It's just not a fair launch, and
that makes sense.
It has to balance between the miners and the stakers,
because Eden is its own thing. It came about because Lotus had a staking issue, but it's its own thing. It's not Lotus. It's its own thing.
Yeah. It just is. It's like we can call it a sister token, but it's a totally different protocol, and it benefits and it kind of rejuvenates Lotus. Lotus is going to be more scarce than Eden, I will tell you that. And as we continue to build, I don't know. We can't make future predictions, but I have plans for Lotus that are. I love Lotus. I mean, that was one of my greatest creations. It's a shame this has happened, but it could. The flip side of this might be even more greater than
It,
what
it
we
led to
probably
Eden.
anticipated.
It led to Eden. So I mean,
It,
I think
it
the
did.
path, and you've handled it, excellently. And so now, okay, so now let's talk about Eden. So okay, so let's not talk about Lotus right now. We talked about that a little bit. So okay, so day one is actually Saturday.
Yeah, if everything goes as gravy, everything's going great right now. Everybody's waiting on the last audit reports to come out. We're like on 100% different time zones. So like one day is two, kind of. But these guys, I'm not rushing them. Okay,
And this is
they're
audit number 4.
4 audits.
This is the 4th audit that you're waiting
Well,
for.
well, okay. So I have 2 audits back, fully done. But Hunter Security, they audited X28. Right now, they're auditing Shogun. Okay, they audited TitanX. I've also used other TitanX auditors on Blaze, Dead Rose. They're about 20 grand a piece for each audit. All right, these guys are thorough to the bone, man. They're awesome auditors. Okay, so that's what we're using. And that's all I can do is do 4 audits and a bunch of testing, right? I mean, what else can we do?
Dude, 4 audits. That's that.
Yeah,
I see why you're doing it is because of what happened, and you're being
yeah,
very, very careful and safe. And I mean, I
yeah.
think everybody appreciates that. I do.
So
So that's exciting. So if so, the plan is Saturday Eden launches. I mean, as long as things come back like you're expecting them to.
yeah, I mean, they've already come back in, but we just we're waiting on the devs to just. I'm not rushing these guys. I
Good.
want them to. I'm not like a badger, dude. That's not my style. So I mean, we thought it was going to be earlier, and I just because I relay what I'm told, but they're like, hey, we want to do this, we want to do that. I'm like, okay, well, and I'm like, well, I asked them today. I said, well, do you want me to delay the launch? And they said no with like 10 zeros after it. So I mean, okay, so that means we're
We have
good to
to rely on
go.
our team. We get great teams, and
Yeah,
that's why we have the team, so we can rely on them. So that's great. That sounds exciting. I mean, I'm stoked, and so I mean, I'm definitely in day one on Eden. So when
yeah,
you when we get in on Eden, input token is still TitanX,
yeah. It is still TitanX. Yeah, yeah.
and the LP is with Volt.
Yes, it is. This can be the same thing as Volt. It's gonna help Volt again. So the last, I mean, a lot of money. 8% of the buy and burn of Lotus got sent to Volt, and a 4% Treasury got to send to Volt, right? And
The
it's gonna be
actual Vault in Volt.
yeah. And so this is the same thing again for Volt. All right. So, but it's really bullish for Volt too, which is awesome in my opinion. So I'm excited about that. Do you want to bring up the white paper and we can just talk about it
Do it.
and maybe I can, let me see if I can scroll. So that's pretty cool. All right. So everybody knows it's built on TitanX and Volt, right? So we had this like massive natural cap situation going on due to the mining costs going up, which we can get to too. And these are just some of the things. Let's just go to the hype catalyst here, because I think this is more important, right? Whoops, freaking weird StreamYard, right? You got to go over here and go over there. All right, so it's fair launch, and that's why the people that stake, they can't get their tokens until the 9th day, because that would discourage participation. It's not, and it wouldn't be a fair launch, and it also, if no one participates in something because it's not a fair launch, what good is your ratio swap? What good is it? So I mean, these aren't lottery tickets, right? So a little bit of patience is required, and this was not something that all this was thought out methodically. And I had help, and I have mentors, and we have people that are working together to make sure this is all right, right? So, all right, so we have some of the same similar stuff going on here, but not completely. It's decentralized, obviously. And let me just touch on this because immediately after there was the 8-day payout problem, the scammers came out, the influencers came out, and it really, in my opinion, just crushed people who were holding Lotus. They just dumped the shit out of it. And that's their choice. But the influencers were totally wrong in what they were saying about the code not being immutable, and that I had all the admin keys and, oh, go to this website, look on this. That's bullshit. Half these websites are wrong. Go to Etherscan, learn how to use Etherscan, watch a video, go look at the code base on GitHub, right? I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, these websites can catch up, but they're not always accurate, like stuff like that. So, and when you're going through, I saw people going through my audits and like, oh, these audits say this isn't acknowledged. Dude,
I did see that too. Yeah, people were just
they're going through the audits,
all super sleuth,
and they were talking about the audits not being right, but the fucking audits, the audits were right, and you didn't see that. You didn't take the time to scroll down and say acknowledged, fixed, acknowledged, fixed, acknowledged, fixed. The last audit that came in for Lotus had 0 high, medium, critical things and just low informational acknowledgement issues. All right. So they were all fixed. There was nothing on there, and so that was totally lame as shit. And it makes them look bad. And, I've been in this since day one, and we built Blaze and we built Inferno for free. I mean, give me a break, I mean, we're doing the best we can, and but I am remorseful that it happened. I mean, I'm not saying that it's great or anything, right? I mean, but we have a fix, and this is it. So, anyways, so the 2.5%. This is the same. This is the same as what it was in Lotus. All right. It decreases the compounding reductions, like a halving effect, right? So, and it also, obviously, we're going to have another decentralized formation on Uniswap V3 with liquidity bonding. It's like, we can get to that too down the road. These are just the hype catalysts. I think it sounds cooler than pumpamentals, which is fine too. People like that term. So we're going to be able to do single and batch miners again. But this time, it's kind of a big deal. No one's ever done this in crypto anywhere, because especially in DeFi, you have to fill it up. The users fill up the pools, right? So we're putting 200 billion TitanX in the 8-day, the 48-day, and the 88-day payout. I mean, that's pretty solid.
That's going to make me want to figure out how to stake some Eden.
Yeah, I mean, so when the protocol launches, I have to do this after the protocol deploys. All right, so I have to stake this because I can't do it beforehand. So that's going to be something. So if you're looking and waiting to see, oh, hey, where's the 200 billion in each? It's coming. All right, because this is going to be like, there's like 5 or 6 smart contracts that have to be, done and executed or announced, but it'll be there. And if it's not there, you'll see it's not there, right? And the miners don't even come out. One-day miner doesn't come out till day 2. All right, so make your decision on that. The Eden Bloom Reward, same thing as the Lotus Bloom Reward, will be there also. The optional auto compounding staking, which is sick. You don't even have to pull your you don't even have to claim your TitanX if you don't want to yet. And you don't even have to end your stake. You can just let it run and without any fees. There's no mining fees, there's no penalties for anything. Fully decentralized buy and burn, same like Inferno was, which I applied to Lotus, on the days. Sunday through Wednesday is 4%. Thursday is 10%, and Friday and Saturday is 15%. So we get green candles, and the gas is cheaper, and all that stuff. So, and this is the unique feature, right, guys? We talked about the ratio swap for those who want to get out of Lotus and they want to get into Eden because they're stakers, right? And this is more for the staker class. I think maybe holders would want to hold Lotus because of what's coming. Or maybe sell it, I don't know. But and there's no penalties. We have future builds in the pipeline, I know some other people are going to build, maybe Zara when Steve's ready to release that. That'll be coming out. I can't tell you when. Steve's all about
that'll be using Lotus as an input token, right? Possibly.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what he says, so, I mean, we'll see what happens when it comes out. But, yeah, at this point, that's what he said. But, Steve is Steve, and it's his protocol. Lazara is not my protocol. She's my girl, but she ain't my protocol, right? No, I'm just kidding. And Shaolin is in the pipeline, and I'll continue to build. If these are successful, I'm going to still continue to build because I enjoy doing it.
I know. Well, we can't stop building. I mean, once we're a builder, it's the bug is in, and then it's on.
Yeah, I mean, it was one little thing, and they fixed it, But there were some other things that Hunter came up with because they're super deep, these guys, and they said, let's do this better, So that's what's being implemented. I see Tony's asking, are the final audits is Mike listing on Eden on TitanX Hub? Yeah, he's just waiting on me, man. He's waiting on me to tell him when it's going to launch. If you didn't see that, we were talking on Twitter the other day about that. Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be on TitanX Hub, and so it'll be there for you to take a look at and all that good stuff and all the stats. He's also, I was building, I inquired Mike Dean's services to build a Dune dashboard for this. But I said, hey, hold up. After day 8, if you haven't started, hold up. And he's like, yeah, I figured. And he's like, let's just do it for Eden. So he's going to be building a Dune dashboard for Eden as well. So save me some money. I appreciate it. I'm not double charging. So here we go. So we got we went through the single and batch mining. Yeah. So we have an E rank instead of the L rank with Lotus. All right. This is the same, the scale. All right, on what you get on your miners. All right, this is the same. There are some things that are different that we'll get to in a minute, though, as well. And we talked about, why it's just the way it is. And because the whole goal of these is to be hyper-deflationary faster. And that means by having less tokens, right? So if there's 1 trillion tokens, it takes longer to get hyper-deflationary. But if there's not 1 trillion tokens, it doesn't take longer. So if we have a natural cap, it won't be as long. All right. So anyway, so we know what the bonuses are. You've seen them if you're mining in Lotus. Let me just scroll down. So here's one thing that offsets the ratio that's important. So the Eden max miners have 30% more tokens than the Lotus max miners. So an Eden max miner has 195,000 tokens versus 150,000 tokens. We're not talking about the bonuses included here. And so that will help, with the 1-to-1 ratio swap. And it also, it just balances it out because we can't have it the same by any means because then it would be totally screwed up. So basically,
day 1 ratio on a max miner that you're going to get to be able to mine on Eden is going to be how much versus Lotus was?
195,000 tokens versus 150,000 tokens.
So Eden's going to be a little bit more.
Yeah, you're going to get more tokens with Eden, than you would with Lotus, and that'll help balance out that ratio swap right there. And that's the math that we came up with to do that with. So and plus the ratio swap again. When you do it, you're making Lotus more rare for the people that are holding liquid Lotus or whatever they want to do. So that's a game theory there, right? Because that's good. Not only is it making Lotus more rare, it's staking. That token is going to get staked. That ratio token that you swapped or however many you want to swap is going to get staked into that whale stake, and it's going to feed it right back into the TitanX, into the pools in Eden to benefit.
Now, day 150, when everybody unlocks their day 1 stakes, they're going to have something to do with them, though.
Yeah. If they want,
they can. Miners, we can go straight into Eden if we wanted.
Yeah, you could totally do that. And plus, Shaolin's going to be burning Eden and Lotus. So, pretty hardcore too.
So we can hold some Lotus and, just
mix it up. It's always good to diversify, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but what is the input token to Shaolin? Oh, you shall see, my friend. You shall see. You shall see. All right, you shall see. That I'm debating on revealing that tonight, but there's things are changing. Things are pivoting in the ecosystem, and it's going to benefit the ecosystem, and we'll get to that. And I feel very strongly about this, and I'm not scared to. There's going to be some ice that gets broke tonight on this. You know, love the graphics, man. You gotta love it.
I love it.
Dude. All right, so let's go on to the mathematics of this. So, all right, so here we are again. Simplicity. We know it. So it's 2.5% per day increase. I'm sorry, they decrease at 2.5% per day per month. Let's just use max miners, right? It doesn't matter. It's all the same. Let's say for max miners, and an increase at 1.75% in costs. Okay. So with that said, so this chart is different than the other one, all right, because it's obviously you get 195,000 tokens, all right. So by day 30 is the halving, straight up. Okay, so you're going to get about 100,000 tokens and whatever the cost of TitanX is. It'll be approximately about $450 again of TitanX to make a max miner. So after 30 days, you know, do the math. I mean, it could be a couple $1,000s in TitanX to get the same thing. So the goal here is a natural cap, and then we have to create the hyper-deflationary effect afterwards. Because some people were talking about this. Oh, I thought it was hyper-deflationary. Well, it's naturally capped at a low cap, and then it's easier to make a token that has a less supply become hyper-deflationary, right? Faster. So it might only need 4 protocols building on it instead of 40, right? And not just putting, you know, just putting a perspective out there to think about for people. All right. So and the cost increase goes up 1.75% per day. All right. So this is almost the exact same thing as before. 4%. Actually, we changed this. Is we're burning the TitanX instead of going to the DragonX Vault. All right. So that's better. All right. We're gonna send this to the liquidity bonding wallet for Volt. All right. And same thing here. This is exactly what happened before. All right. 8% is going to be used for liquidity bonding with us, so we can help provide liquidity because we need liquidity. Liquidity is great. We can't do anything without it. You can't exit. No one can exit without liquidity. It's extremely important. And then so we have the buy and burns, whatever, right? So Volt again. All right, it's going to get, so 48% is going to be buy and burn, but 8% is going to Volt. All right, and 40% is going to be buying and burning Eden. All right, so essentially between Lotus and
with Volt. So no. It'll use TitanX and then buy Volt and then buy Eden and burn it.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, buy pressure is on. Yeah, exactly. So 8% uses TitanX
and Eden actually buy pressure.
Yeah.
You're using TitanX to start it. It has buy pressure on Volt and then also Eden.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, so Volt now between Lotus and Eden is 16%, you know, of what comes in to these two protocols has been sent to Volt, you know, and then that's just for, you know, goes to their buy and burn contract, or just uses it to buy and burn, right? And then it also has 4 + 4, that's 8% for liquidity bonding for Volt too, so that's really solid. And then the 28% gets sent to the 3 reward pools in the Eden Bloom. So actually, it's actually, you know, maybe I should have another line there, but so 23% of the TitanX is sent to the 3 reward pools, and 5% goes to the Eden Bloom reward, and 8% is the Genesis, as we all know how that works. All right. So stake Eden, get your rewards in TitanX. All right, so this is one thing that's different, all right? So because we're putting so much money into these staking pools, it's a stake. Lotus is 40 days. It's 90 days if you want to stake.
Minimum.
Yeah,
But you
90.
get a better ratio if you max stake.
Yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. I mean, and on Lotus, it was a 30% bonus because we just didn't want to. We just wanted to create the low, the hyper-deflation low. But so, and also lessened for the staking on Lotus was like 1480. So we figured this would come out like 30 days afterwards. So for game theory reasons, we made the max miners 150, right? So it comes out hopefully around the bull market, and we made the staking come out, the max staking come out 30 days less too, which is hopefully around the same time in 4 years. So people want to play that game, and so, and also instead of doing what we did last time with the staking on Lotus, and you can look at that, but on the staking bonuses for Eden, it starts at 5% at 90 days, and it goes up to 100% instead of 30%. So that's a significant reward bonus. Excuse me, in TitanX.
Oh,
so that's a lot better. That's something I wanted to change, just to give people more incentive if they want to stake. So that's a lot more than 30%. If you're going to commit that long, then you should definitely be able to get more rewards from the program.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, that was something that needed to go up, in my opinion, and I probably would have done that
Where
anyway.
does 5% kick in?
It kicks in at the 90 days. You stake for 90 days, you get 5%, and just scales kind of up from there. Yeah.
Cool.
So it starts at 5%, and then you get incentives to go up higher. Click on the rewards here. Hey, and does anybody have any questions that I'm missing? Am I missing anything?
We have one question. You kind of did address it earlier, but if you want to quickly touch on it, will we be able to stake on Lotus? So we shouldn't be staking on Lotus anymore unless you're some kind of a pro and you really know what you're doing. But like just either hold your Lotus or 1-to-1 ratio swap it into Eden. If you hold your Lotus, there are benefits. This is my answer. You can answer it after me. If you hold your Lotus, there are benefits possibly in the future because of potentially Zara launching, depending on what Steve does with it. And then also, and that's going to potentially take Lotus as an input. And then also Shaolin is slated to burn a lot of Lotus, and Lotus is going to be a much more capped supply than Zara. So anyways, that's my answer for that. What do you think?
No, you're right. I mean, I just don't see a reason to stake Lotus. Because because a lot of people, saw the $80,000 Bloom reward get paid out. And they're like, oh man, we want to still stake. But guys, the treasury wallet to save the staking pools is going to be having a massive stake. Okay. So that's what's going to control the staking pools because of the bug. And it's going to just send those right over to Eden. Okay. So if you're going to stake, I would consider doing it in Eden because you're going to have more rewards, and that's what you want when you stake, right? You're going to be diluted very heavily because of the bug and because of the decisions we made to try to remedy it by pulling over the rewards and putting them in the pools over there. But
you get way better rewards if you stake in Eden because now not only is the whale extracting the stake rewards out of Lotus and dropping them into the Eden staking pools, but you're also preloading the first 3 staking pools at 200 billion TitanX additionally. So, I mean,
mining feeds the pools.
And mining will feed the pools additionally. So,
yeah. So it would be foolish and I don't do, and that's not financial advice, but there's no reason to stake. And I've put that on the white paper, and that's why we took down the stake page. But with that said, it's immutable code. You can go on the blockchain, you can go on the back end, you can do whatever you want with, you can do it through Etherscan. I'm not recommending it. I'm not recommending doing that because this is the band-aid, right? And then a lot more with the hyperbaric chamber and
Yeah, exactly. This is like the was it like the $1 Million Man when it's like you lose an arm, but then you get like a mechanical arm that could like throw a baseball 500 miles an hour.
I mean, so we have
it's not a band-aid. It's like a a cyborg, upgrade.
Yeah. It's going to be, we have three things that are feeding the Eden pools, versus mining, which is virtually stopped on Lotus because of the bug and because of all the influencers, getting people to freak out about it, which is actually amazing for them capping the supply so fast because it'll be easier to burn the shit out of it, which is going to be great because of other reasons. But Chuck Boy, what's up?
See how this really runs, because now we get to see how this really runs, because like this is actually an improved version of Lotus, and Lotus is also still there, still working, still mining. It just, there's no staking. Well, there is staking, but we don't really want to do it for all the reasons we just talked about. But Eden is literally a new and improved version of Lotus that's coming Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they said, So, but if there's any red flags, we'll pull it and wait.
If there's any red flags, you're gonna wait because you're doing this right. But if the team says no with a whole bunch of O's, it's like the team you're working with is legit, bro. It's like your team is like on point. So I mean, everything you and your team are doing, it's like I'm 1,000,000% on board with. You're handling, you're pivoting immediately when something happened, and you're taking care of everybody. Obviously the community is the most important part, and you're showing that with your actions. And you're not just launching another protocol saying, "Whoops, here's a new one." You're making sure you're over remedying everybody. I mean, more than you probably even needed to. I mean,
we felt bad about it.
You didn't need to necessarily refund the stakers and give them their stake also, but you did, and that was amazing. You didn't need to refund 200 billion or fund 200 billion into each of those staking pools, but you're doing it. And these are the above and beyond things that you're doing that are also going to really benefit the community. I mean, because if we're participating in Eden, now we get those additional benefits that we weren't going to get with Lotus anyway. And now we get to see how this baby runs, because like you designed this to be a protocol that runs, that like runs for a period of time and like really experiences its hyper-deflation and gets kicked in. So I really want to see this thing run, because I like the design from it.
It's going to be, I mean, these are like unprecedented type of things, that we've all been doing in TitanX, right? We've all been doing, and they're all experiments. And like we say, don't put in when you can't afford to lose, because this technology the distributed ledger technology is already there, but like trying to keep up with our tokenomics is not easy for the devs to dev and the auditors to figure out. I mean, I find it very amazing that they both missed the exact same thing. And that's very so I don't know why, and it's irrelevant at this point, but it's interesting because, man, it just is. I find it fascinating that happened. So anyway, so all right, so the rewards. Okay, so yeah, same thing. 35% day 8, 35% 48, and then 88, is 25%, because that would obviously increase. Excuse me. The lowest bloom reward is 5%. Longer staking periods you're going to get more. And we talked about that. The optional compounding mechanism, I think we kind of get that. We talked about that a lot. Is there any questions that you have on that? That's just, your
That's on
stake.
your stakes, right? If you don't claim your stakes when they expire, it'll just auto compound them.
No, well, you have to hit auto compound, so it's optional. So you could just, if you don't, there's no penalties for miners, or there's no penalties for stakes, or or anything like that, or reward claiming either. So, but you could actually just leave your stake and not touch it, and just keep accruing, rewards, and you don't even have to end it. But the auto compound is something where you can take your rewards that you get from each payout and say, hey, let's auto compound them. We're going to press this button. And what it's going to do is it's going to take the TitanX and it's going to go buy Volt. And then that Volt is going to buy Eden. And that Eden is going to get staked into your existing stake to add on top of it. And you're going to get more percentage of the reward pool without having to take your, restake. But it's important to make clear that you will not receive more E rank bonus when you just compound your rewards, because it would just become too hyperinflationary. That defeats the whole goal of it.
You don't really get E rank though when you stake. You're just getting E rank when you mine, though, right?
Yeah. What was I saying? You don't get any more percentage bonus, is what I should have said. Yeah. Yeah. It's confusing, man. These miners and these staking.
No, there's so many things to these white papers. I'm loving it.
Yeah, so you're not going to get more bonus, okay, if you just compound, but you will get more rewards. But if you want to get more bonus, claim your tokens, start a new stake, and then you get your bonuses from there. So that's pretty much how that works. And people can look at this and how it works on V3, put that in there. And I think I did a summary of the process. So I mean that's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah.
Cool.
Little koi fish, my
love the
little koi fish right there, buddy. Anyways, yeah, that got done from a master Tokyo artist, and cool. I'll leave that there. Yeah, Tabori. Okay, so the buy and burn, same as Inferno. I loved Inferno. One of the founders of Inferno. Didn't know that. Anyway, so 4%. We just talked about this earlier. 10% Thursday, and then 50% Friday and Saturday. Yeah. So, in the LP,
but this mints every day.
What's up?
This mints every day though, not once a week.
Yeah, you can mine every day.
You mine every day.
Yeah, every day you can mine. This just has to do, but the mining increase goes up 1.75% per day in cost, and the tokens you get goes down 2.5% decrease for tokens.
So you're still having different burns on different days, just as a mechanic, even though it's not leading up to a mint day, it's like just
right.
You can mine every day, but it'll still have waves in the buy and burn. We'll have some waves every week.
Because gas is so expensive on the weekdays, it's crazy. So let's just, we let it roll out at 4%. People still, they still call it. We've been watching them. I've been watching them call it. And then, Thursday, hey, let's ramp it up to 10%. And then on Friday and Saturday, it'll be the buy and burn will be at 15%, every 8 minutes. It's all every 8 minutes, because that's what was suggested by the devs. So we don't want to do more than every 8 minutes by any means. So for MEV reasons. All right. So that was important. All right. So we got the same amount of tokens, all right, as Lotus was. When 5K of TitanX comes in, okay, and that's the pair. 5 pair of Volt, paired with Eden. All right. So once TitanX comes in, 5K of TitanX comes in, this will be the starting price right here of the Eden token in liquidity pool. And I don't recommend that anybody goes into the liquidity pool, unless you're a badass, right? I mean, people made mad money. I think Crypto Audi King said he got like 75 G's out of the liquidity pool. I mean, just, playing around with it in the beginning. The token was solid, and it hung around. We were, I think, number 1 to number 3 on Ethereum for 8 days
Oh, I
straight.
remember that, bro. It was just the launch rocking. It just had you got a little flat tire on day 8.
Oh yeah, I know, dude. It's just like, oh my god, dude. You never. Yeah, it's just so disappointing. But whatever, That's life, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you do. And
Built a new car. You got a flat tire, then you built a new car.
yeah, I mean, it's what you do in the face of you know, horrible circumstances that you know, will define the next chapter of your journey. You know, and no matter what it is, crypto or in life or just health or whatever the hell.
How we do anything is how we do everything. So this is just who you are. You want to make sure you do things right for people. You know, and take care of everybody. And I appreciate it. I can see that.
I haven't been here for a year just to say, oh fuck, see you later. That sucked. You know what I mean? I'm out. You know, no way.
You're not going away. There's no way, dude.
Not that fast, man. We got to make this right, and it will make it right. I think this will be really good. And so anyway, so full range LP, Uniswap. You know, you can do your concentrated liquidity providing if you're good at that. You can do your full range, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you don't feel comfortable with, don't do it, you know? So the contracts are going to be, the audits will be, I have 2 of them back. I'm not posting any of them until I can post all 4 at the same time. I don't even know if I'll put a flow chart in. I just don't think it's necessary at this point. I think I'll let maybe me and Mike Dean will do a deep dive, and I like his little flow charts. I can just, if he's listening, I'll just screen copy those and just throw them in there. That's you know, I did those for Blaze back in the day, and Titan liquid staking and all this crazy stuff he had going on. It took me like 20 hours. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this again. So, but yeah, so that's that, man.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. So
I've been getting a little nerdy with the flow charts. I'm loving them. So we're launching the NFT AwesomeX hybrid NFTs on Sunday, and the first
awesome.
The first 8 series of 8 hybrid NFTs, and it's actually 8 characters that are going to chronicle all the protocols being built on AwesomeX, and each character is going to have 3 NFTs each. So there's going to be 3 tiers of 8 characters. So there's 24 total hybrid NFTs, and well, one of the characters is a protocol that I haven't mentioned yet because I haven't figured out the full mechanics. I have the character. Most of them I'm starting with mechanics and I'm putting the character on mechanics. But there's one character that is a character that I actually created somehow to figure out how to build on Eden and Volt. And her name is Flora. And
nice.
Yeah, and she's a badass. But we have 3 Flora NFTs coming out on Sunday as well with the team, but with all the 8 characters. She's one of the 8. And
what time are you going to launch on Sunday?
We're launching all 24 NFTs on Sunday. It's just the hybrid collection, the first hybrid collection of NFTs on AwesomeX. They're going to be collateralized at 3 different tiers. So the first tier is the awesome tier, and that's 88.8 million AwesomeX is going to be collateralized inside of those. And then 888 million AwesomeX is going to be collateralized inside the gold tier. And the elite tier is 8.8 billion. And the cool thing that it's kind of actually a membership club ticket in a way, because, you know, yes, they are hybrids, and yes, you can burn them for collateral. But one of the big benefits for these NFTs is that these other protocols being built, all the 8 protocols that are actually chronicled in these characters, are going to have benefits for NFT holders. So Draco, when Draco comes out, Draco's the first one that's going to come out after the NFTs. And Draco is a mining and staking protocol built on AwesomeX that uses AwesomeX as the input and pays out stakers in AwesomeX. And the reason we had to build that is because it provides infrastructure for AwesomeX to be used for multiple other protocols. So we needed an infrastructure layer, which is a mining and staking protocol, Hyper-Deflationary. We're using some fun things, but the cool thing is there's going to be an additional mining bonus for NFT holders. So and we're going to be doing that in most of our other protocols too. So That's kind of nice. So it's like a membership club. Like you get these. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that people are like, you guys are like using NFTs is not JPEGs, right? Because so many people, oh, just JPEG. No. Like you can do, that's like the future is NFTs, I mean, token, these cryptocurrencies, that's great and all, but I mean, the future is what's going to be packaged inside of NFTs,
Right.
cars, houses, boats, mortgages, tracking cheese from freaking Italy to LA's finest restaurant is going to be on chain as an NFT. I mean, it's so, and there's so many use cases for that. And that's what's, and people they'll wake up. I mean,
that's what I love about what Rudy's been doing and innovating in the space, in the hybrid space, that, we're just starting with collateralizing the NFTs with tokens. But yeah, like you said, a lot more things can get wrapped up in NFTs moving forward. So what we're doing is, I love the collateralization in tokens for multiple reasons. And there's a lot of actually cool mechanics that are going to come into some other ones. These are very simple. They're simple deflationary hybrid NFTs that can be burned for your tokens. They're very simple. There's other protocols that are coming. What we're doing is we're doing a loop on protocols that we can. The problem I was running into is when I was originally designing these protocols is the chain of LPs. Well, I didn't understand the chain, where I was in the chain, and then going up the chain versus down the chain, selling off your token versus using your token to buy and burn something else. So there's a chain in the LPs, and when I started really understanding that and wrapping my heads around it, I realized that we need a protocol in order for me to build all the things I want to build. I need something that takes AwesomeX and that pays out in AwesomeX. And once we have that infrastructure built, now we can start building some of these mining and staking loops and these these multi-collateral growing hybrids, which I'm really excited about. These ones, these multi-collateral growing hybrids, are basically a hybrid NFT that is collateralized by the coin you buy it with, but it keeps getting filled up with another token because of the mechanics underneath the ecosystem. So the rewards are actually accruing within the NFT. And so if you want to claim it and burn it, you actually get two kinds of tokens out of it.
That's wild. I mean, talk about innovation in the TitanX space, right? I mean, that's pretty serious stuff, dude.
It's fun. You know what? It's fun. And we have devs that can build this stuff. Like, it's actually allowing me to dream. Like, I'm actually sitting here, like, because I write a script before I make a movie. I can't just go make a movie without a script. So that's kind of what the AwesomeX universe is for me. These 8 NFTs are basically a script for the future of the AwesomeX universe, because each one of these, there's already 6 of them that have fully designed white papers and fully designed protocols. There's only 2 of them out of the 8 that I'm still designing what they're going to be. Flora is one of them. The other one is Sumo. Sumo is going to be a fun one, but I don't know fully what it's going to be yet. But we are launching the Sumo NFTs as well. So, but the other protocols, oh my gosh, they're so sick. It's just, now I don't have to wonder what's next. We finish a build, and then I tell it, this is what's next, guys. Here's the next white paper. Like, here's the next, design brief. Like, here's the initial design place we're going with it, because now the NFT's already kind of established not only a meme character, but they've established like a design direction for the protocols. So I'm building the script. I'm launching the script on Sunday, and people can participate by just basically holding some cool NFTs. And yeah, the JPEGs are badass. So it's like the JPEGs are badass, and the phi underneath the meme is the engine. The phi underneath of the meme phi is the engine, and that's what I love. I actually love the engine more than I love the meme personally. The meme is a branding, is the icing on the cake of an amazing protocol that generates revenue and generates income automatically.
Yeah, it's great. I like the fact the creative narrative. You're a producer, you're a filmmaker, and you have a script and it's a story. Because that's awesome. And like that's what I was gonna do with Lotus and Zara and Shaolin and have a village, like a village of tokens of these people that roam in this fantasy world that can bring value. So it's really cool to have like a narrative in play with your project, because a lot of people don't care, right? They'll look at a website and they just want it to be, click, 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 done, and that's okay. That's them. And then there's other people who love the creativity side of the coins, and you can't help but love both. I mean, I'm a designer, artist in a way, and you are too. And if you can mix the two together with tokenomics, it makes it more fun, dude. I mean, right? I mean, let's be honest. It makes it a hell of a lot more fun, and it's badass, dude. So.
And there's a lot that can come from it. I mean, my brain is already spinning. Once the Awesome X universe gets going, and the Shaolin City gets going, or whatever, Eden gets going, we have these IPs now of these characters that we can literally, make comic books. We can make graphic novels. We could do this kind of stuff and then we could tokenize those, and we actually literally have tokenized comics. Instead of getting one NFT, you could get an NFT and have a comic shipped to you. You could have a comic or
a tokenized NFT. You're right. You could have it shipped to you, and that's where real infrastructure comes into play, right? That's like the build out of the blockchains in the real world society. That's major, not just a PDF, right? You can send a PDF,
and then you can even have a QR code and a little frame, and it can be literally a comic book that you could read and then put it back in your frame, and it's tokenized. I mean, it's one of a kind. You could have a signature on it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty badass.
I love the future of all of this, whatever that means. All I know is we're building long-term protocols right now. And, everybody's focused on this bull market, which is great. And I am too, but I'm not just focused on this bull market. I know I was talking to Smooth and Crypto. None of us are focused on just this bull market. We're focused on the future. The future. Yeah. Builders build. We're going to build even through the bear. I mean, we're going to build through the bull, and we're going to build through the bear. And these are long-term. They're just going to keep, yes, this is going to get very hyper-deflationary over time, Eden, but it's just going to be very expensive to mint, but it technically will always mint, right? It's not going to ever be like
I mean, if you want to spend $10,000 and get 450 tokens, feel free.
See, at that time,
it might be worth it one day. I don't know, right?
Exactly. Look at the math on that. If that's the math in the code, what if it's profitable? Even a 10% ROI when it costs that much is going to make people want to do it. A 20% ROI when it costs that much. We're going to be buying fractions of tokens. You know what I mean? It's so I think that's the future that I'm seeing. But also, I don't know how our ecosystem is going to operate during the bear market, because we're going to have burned so many tokens to get to the top of this bull market.
Yeah.
When things go back down in the bear, I don't really know what that means for us, because hyperdeflation is something different than we've ever seen. I mean, yes, I do think everything will crash down during the bear market, but what does that really mean? What does that look like? Are we going to have a little softer landing in this ecosystem, or not? Maybe not. I don't know.
I think the bear market's going to be very interesting, because we in TitanX have all been making money in the bear market the whole time, right? And now, just because stakes are coming out and people are dumping and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's like the first 2 or 3 red weeks that TitanX has ever had. People are just flipping the hell out. I guess I'm blurry. I don't know why my internet's connection. Do you see me blurry right now? Am I kind of blurry?
Maybe a little bit, but I mean.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, I have a great connection. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know.
Oh, good. I have a little headlamp shining at my whiteboard here, because I don't have any light in my house.
I have a IKEA light that just blasts me in the face, So it doesn't matter. It's all good. So what about creating an idea bank marketplace, one per ID per NFT? Yeah, so that's a question for you, CryptoAwesome. What do you think about that?
What's that? What about creating an idea bank marketplace, one idea per NFT tradable through bids? Hey, you know what? That's interesting. I mean, everybody's got ideas, though. And I got so many ideas. It's crazy. Like, but the ones that win are the ones that you take a little further than just the idea. I mean, so it's like if you could take an idea and really kind of workshop it into a Gitbook account, now you can actually see if it has legs on all of the different levels, on all the different pieces. So it's like I think that's interesting, but also ideas are really free. I mean, I that's why I'm pretty open about all the protocols I'm building. I'm gonna share before I'm doing them. If I pivot, I'll share about it. Is because I'm not worried personally about anybody stealing my ideas. Like, I actually could care less because I have so many ideas that if someone takes one of my ideas and makes it their own, it's still not my idea. It's now their idea. They made it their own. So it's like, I mean,
it's evolution of
people can't copy me because they actually aren't me. So, you know, it's like when you realize that there is no competition, it's really only collaboration. And if people try to steal an idea, hey, there's more coming. And actually people that do that kind of stuff, the future is not necessarily as bright as they would want it to be because things come back to you. So it's like, it's really just about, for me, transparency, which is what I appreciate about how you're handling all of this. Transparency is so important. Honesty, being a man of your word, you know, trust is something that's earned. It's not a given. It's an earned thing based upon actions. And that's what you've demonstrated here. Same with actually, there's been other issues in this ecosystem, only a few, but there have been a couple other protocol issues. But every single time, they've all been handled ethically. Like nobody's ever been rugged here in an official build on TitanX protocol ever.
Yeah, that's true. And look at all the other ones out there. Look at all the build. I mean, I'm not going to say names. I'm not
going
to
say names, but I know.
Yeah, I mean, we know who they are. It's like what, you know, and that's not acceptable in this ecosystem. And if anybody does it, they're going to be ostracized, and they should be, you know, from the ecosystem. Totally, brass tacks, you know. So that's why I wanted to make this right as I could, right as I'm financially capable to, and right as my physical capabilities and my mind can. I mean, dude, I have like not left my house since this started, you know, to try to reverse the situation. And I think we have a solution that's going to be pretty badass, you know. It's some incentive, you know. I would understand, but the preloading in the pools is like, that's legit, you know. Like, there's a lot of people that like that, I think, and I wanted to give that back. And I mean, I'll be completely transparent. You know, I have to keep some to pay for these audits and these builds out of my Genesis, you know. So some of it will come a little bit out of the treasury, but not all of it. But it'll be like a 24 million stake or something like that of Lotus. And then some of the TitanX will go in to help out with filling up some of these pools because it's been like a $200,000 cost, you know.
Wow.
You know, so yeah.
Most of us as builders, you know, we're not sleeping before the build, you know, maybe like a week before we're not getting much sleep. And then during the launch, we're not sleeping. You literally haven't slept for a freaking month, I bet. Since like launch, there was 8 days of a hype and excitement. And then all of a sudden flat tire. And then it's like, oh, now I got to build a whole new protocol. And you
have a job too. I mean, dude.
And you got a job, dude. Exactly. Like,
it's crazy. So it's all good though. You know, I mean, we'll take it with stride. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was going to talk about Shaolin.
Yeah. What do you think? Talk about Shaolin? I mean, hey, you can release that information whenever you're ready, or we could talk about it.
Yeah.
It's you.
Well, I'm going to say Shaolin is going to be a twist, and it's going to be a major benefit for the TitanX ecosystem, for Lotus, for Eden. There's going to be some things that a lot of people behind the scenes have been talking about, and we might talk about them on the spaces on Sunday. I'm going to talk about it on the spaces on Sunday. About how there's going to be a slight pivot in some of the ethos that needs to be done because we're growing so fast. And what I will say, building on top of protocols is okay, totally fine, okay? But we need to start thinking about building sideways too. Okay. And there's ways to do that. And that might not make sense right now, but it's going to be one of the most important things is liquidity, right? Because we can't buy milk and eggs with TitanX, right? Or Ethereum for that matter. Okay. So the healthiest thing for the TitanX ecosystem is to have the most Ethereum in the TitanX ecosystem. Now, the ways to go about getting that into the TitanX ecosystem, I'm not going to say right now, but I will say it on Sunday because we figured them out. And by Sunday, there might be another revelation that comes to us, right? That we can throw out there. But some of the people that are the big brains that we've been talking about, it's not because of influencers talking shit on Twitter. All right, we've been thinking about this for a minute, because we're growing so fast. So it's going to be epic. I'm doing it. I'm doing it no matter what. And some other people can choose to do and follow the path. And I think it's going to be accepted. I think it'll be totally fine with Jake too. Everything, and it's all about the users, right? And I mean, it's all about the users and the builders, right? So we all walk away from this, if you play your cards right, happy. That's what we want to deliver. And so the Shaolin is going to burn Eden and Lotus, and it's going to be sideways build. It's not going to be on top of either one of them. And when Zara comes out, and Steve can get into that with you guys. I've been hammering at him. But Steve is Steve, and he knows way more about crypto than for almost anybody I know, or I've ever met. I love the guy. He's a great guy. Yeah. So Lotus
Same with Awesome V. Awesome V's coming at some point. I'm stoked on it. I'm like, I told him, I'm like, hey, dude, in your time. But he's like, when's good for you? I'm like, ASAP. Like, when's good for you?
Yeah. That's what I said too. ASAP possible.
I'm gonna keep moving forward until then. But I have a protocol I want to build on top of Awesome V. So as soon as that launch, because Awesome V takes Awesome X as an input, and then you get Awesome V out, and so in the daily auctions. So it's like, I love an idea of a infinite auction loop built on Awesome V using Awesome X to mint, and that's actually the one that I'm going to do multi-collateral hybrids on. That one's called Rockstar, and that one's going to be you're going to mint your Rockstar using Awesome X, and then that's going to send the Awesome X to a vault that will keep the loop going through the daily mines. And part of the claims,
and it buys and burns, and it burns more, and
it buys and like fills up the NFTs with the multi-collateral. So it'll have Rockstar and Awesome V in the hybrid, and it'll grow with Awesome V over time, all the hybrids. So it's very interesting.
So the sideways builds will help the on top builds too. So the sideways builds are about liquidity, and that's what we need. We need, because we're having so many users come in. We do need more. We have a lot of liquidity. I mean, we have a lot of liquidity. There's not a doubt about that. But we need more liquidity, and that's just my opinion. Because liquidity is great. Thick liquidity is great, and that's why one of the things that Steve did with this liquidity wallet thing was like genius. The genius move. That's why I did it, and that's why Jake's doing it on X28 and Shogun. So it's going to be
real liquidity wallet. You're saying that's a portion of the allocation that comes in goes to adding to the LP,
adding to full range liquidity over the range.
You would transfer half of it into the token, and then you would put equal amounts into LP.
So say 8% of the TitanX comes in, and it's like in Lotus, right? 8% of the TitanX comes in. This isn't going to happen completely anymore in Lotus because of the bug, all right? But it will be Eden. And so then I had it minted a certain amount of Lotus tokens too. But Lotus isn't paired with TitanX. Lotus is paired with Volt. So what would happen is, in Eden's case, same thing. So the TitanX that comes into the 8% liquidity wallet, we'll take that TitanX and we buy Volt. And then we pair it with, we pair Eden with Volt. And then we provide
take
full
half of it, you'd buy Volt, and then you take the other half and buy Eden, and then you would,
yeah. And then and then you drop in over a period of whatever, 150 or 180 days, the max miners. I think it'll probably be 150 days for Eden, a full range liquidity provide, right? And not immediately. And we're also working on a smart contract that would have been done by now if I hadn't to do this, because I don't want to be in control of that. Nobody wants to be in control of that. We want to have a smart contract with variables and stuff like that. That's complicated, and that was actually the next thing that was going to be implemented, was to control these liquidity wallets. But right now you can just track them on chain. I mean, and what they're doing, So, and that's the best we can do right now, because there isn't anything made for that yet. And but I want to make something, because I don't want that responsibility.
Yeah, we're working on something like that too, because we're actually doing a liquidity provision in Draco, and we're working on trying to get that automated, so it automatically does that process and provides liquidity and adds it as a double pair instead of a single-sided just add.
One of the things, liquidity is so important. People are like, oh my gosh, look at all this in this wallet. Well, that's going back to the users, guys. This is so you can exit, and have it. I mean, it's massively important to have this liquidity thing. We should have been doing it a long time ago, frankly. And I really want to share what I've come up with for Shaolin, but I'm gonna wait. Let's get through this launch, on Eden, and once it's, I'll be full disclosure on the Sunday Spaces about what the sideways builds are going to entail and how it's going to benefit. Yeah. So it's not. All right. Yeah.
RRCC says, thank you for creating miner protocols. I really love it more than auctions. And I actually have to agree with you, RRCC. I personally love mining and staking protocols way more than auctions. That's just me and my preference. Don't get me wrong, I still participate in auctions, but I just don't love them, because it's like, I want to know how much I'm going to get when I mine, I want to know, okay, I'm getting this much, and kind of more plan on it. In the auctions, I'm always like, man, I guess there's definitely strategy, but I like to kind of walk away and come back. And the strategy with auctions is like, you either got to show up right at the last minute, or you got to get in big on a day nobody's there.
Yeah, some people get up at 4 I mean, there's people like both, right? I wish there was a way to do, like, I'm gonna figure something out with Shaolin too, because I'm debating an auction system, a 14-day auction mint, but I would like to have it, I don't know. There's a lot of things. I like statements like this because it's feedback from the users, right? Yeah, because you know what you're going to get. You put in your money, you know what you're going to get with your tokens, right? You know how much you're going to get, and it's really hard. And I don't know. So that's something, a hybrid auction, right? Hybrid mining auction would be really interesting to be able to create. Like, that would be like really fair, and because I know some people, like, they get up at 4 a.m. for the Blaze auctions, and Blaze is just pumping along, no problem, dude, just sleeping in the background, paying out full massive ETH divs if you got in, I mean,
one of the things I'm trying to work on is like, how do we actually make things perpetual on cap supplies, which is without it being an auction. And actually, I see why Steve did it, though, because the auction is the cleanest path to do. But so there's one of the ways we're implementing that element is doing a daily mining cap that gets reduced daily for a period of time, in addition to increased cost and less max miner potential. But there's a cap. So basically, if that cap is hit, there's not any more mining available that day. So
I like that. That's a good idea. I want it to be fair and even for everybody that puts in their tokens, right?
It's just a different way to do it. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Maybe that's not the full best way, but I kind of like it. It's something that we could try and see, because then it's people jump in. Then you just got to get up when it started and like try to get in that day. Like maybe it mints all day and it doesn't fill up the cap, or maybe it fills up the cap right away and people can't mint that day and it creates some FOMO for the next day.
Yeah, just have a cap supply mint instead, and instead of a mine, right?
A daily cap supply mint. You could even do that, right? What I have right now is a mining. So I'm actually basing it on how many max miners are possible per day. There's a daily cap supply that actually goes down every single day. And so as the other two are going up and down, there's also this decreasing cap supply that also adds another element into it. So I think it's something that I'm trying to work on. But I want some faster games too. So there's another really fun one I'm working on that's like the fastest. It's so fast, dude. It's like so freaking fast. It's hilarious how fast it is, but it's very cool. It's like it's the games that want to keep people interested quickly. I mean, that's the kind of stuff too, because it's funny because AwesomeX mints every week, every Friday. Yeah. But a week in crypto is literally like a year in the normal world. And so it's like, the whole week, it kind of like everything cools down. Then we ramp it back up for that Friday mint. And it's actually kind of nice, even at these epic ratios, people are, there's so many things right now to do with your TitanX that people are kind of fading AwesomeX right now in these high ratios, which in one sense is really good because not everybody's fading it, but a lot of people are. So the people that aren't fading it are stacking it at high ratios. The people that are fading it are fine. It's fine. You can totally fade it. It doesn't matter. But like, when these other protocols coming up, it's less supply on the market at these high ratios. Yeah. There's like, it basically isn't increasing the supply. In fact, we burned already almost 53% of the entire supply. And we still have 130 billion TitanX left in the buy and burn right now. And E280 has 230 billion ready to buy and burn AwesomeX too. And that's not even
E280 is badass, dude. I love it.
Like crazy.
So that's a great thing. Yeah.
I'm stoked on AwesomeX being an input token. It's a slow protocol. The cool thing about it being slow is that it allows the distribution to really happen over an extended period of time. It won't even hit a 1-to-1 ratio until week 37. And so basically all these protocols that are going to come out before then, people are going to be able to actually participate at a great ratio using AwesomeX because I want it to be an input token in all these protocols. And then also not just AwesomeX, there's going to be other input tokens in the AwesomeX universe used, but for the most part, we got our first Launchpad protocol that we're going to be funding, which is exciting.
And you're all over it.
We're going to mention that soon too, but that's a really amazing protocol, and it's two great people. I'm really glad we're able to fund them, and now, we're going to have a whole nother.
Cool. Awesome, man.
It's called Alpha X. And it's going to be one of the NFTs as well. There's going to be 3 Alpha X NFTs, but it's a sweet wolf in a 1980s Wall Street wolf in a green suit in downtown New York in the 80s.
I love wolves, dude.
Yeah. Dang. So cool, man. Well, hey, what do you want to tell everybody? We got 309 people on this stream right now. Thank you for joining. And
that's sick, dude. Hey, thank you everybody for watching. Dude, it's been a hell of a week, and I hope that people are satisfied with Eden and their airdrops and what's coming. And with Shaolin, it's going to burn Eden and Lotus. It's going to burn a little more Eden than Lotus because Lotus is probably going to be one of the scarcest tokens in the ecosystem because of what happened on day 8, right? So people stopped mining, but they didn't realize that it was only 23% of the protocol was affected by that. And there's use cases that were already coming anyways, but that's, that's okay. So that could be an amazing thing. So I don't know what to say. There's going to be 3 options with Lotus, hopefully. And we'll see how Eden goes. And if it's as good as the Lotus, I mean, if the launch takes off again, a lot of people missed out on the launch of Lotus, and I didn't even go into the LP pool. I just sat there and watched it in disbelief. kind of that day when I went up to $1.37, and it was
That
there, and
dude.
it was nuts. That was the most successful launch on build on TitanX, dude, for tokens going up in the first like 2 or 3 days. It has happened in the whole year. So we'll see if we get a second chance and people want to go into it. You know what I mean? So
I think you're going to get great participation. I mean, I'm going to be in. So guys, stack your TitanX for Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, the lows are lows right now. Holy cow. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be about $450 to TitanX to get in. 1 day, 2 day miners, you'll get your tokens. They might not be profitable because it's good, because if it's good for the protocol. But if you're planning on staking by day 8, then don't mine over 6 days, just in case there's some weird front end UI issue. It's happened with TitanX. Happens with a lot of different things with the blockchain, with the day 0 stuff. So pay attention to that. So if you plan on staking, just mine for 6 days. All right, or whatever, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5. Don't, and just so if something happens on day 7 and you're really hoping to get into that pool, then just play it 1 day less just to be safe. That's just what I recommend. So because the blockchain's the blockchain and does all kinds of crazy shit, right? So yeah, but that's cool, man. Thanks for having me on your show, man, and wish you the best with Awesome X, and good things are coming to TitanX. That's for sure.
I agree, man, and I'm so glad to be in this community with all of the community members that are watching right now, and also with you, man. Like, super. I'm really blessed to be here, and to be in the peer group of the builders is just so cool, man. I mean, I love these guys, and everybody's so smart, and it's just so exciting. It's so exciting. I've just literally dreamed about this. And now I get to dream in white papers, and somehow they become a reality because we have these epic teams.
Yeah, dude. And we'll get our beer when you come down. We'll go tour the movie studios over here when you're ready, bro.
Yes, let's do it. And actually, let's just do that after Eden. I got to buy you a beer anyway to celebrate.
Cheers, man. All right, cool. Well, peace out, everybody. And yeah, dude.
Cool. Yeah, well, thanks, everybody, for watching. Until next time, my name's Dave. CryptoAwesome out.